Some like Gertrude on my mother's side, she was a teacher too. In the early 20s, she went to school for one summer. She got her certificate, and then they taught.
Old photographs are stories in time. Who were they? What were their lives like? Were they happy? Successful? And why have some of their faces turned to stone? What set them on this path along the Nassawango Creek? Bog iron ore on the bed of the Nassawango Creek. In 1829, this iron furnace was built to smelter iron ore. By 1847, the furnace was abandoned. Unable to compete with better grade iron ore from other sources, the Nassawango Iron Furnace, or the stack as it was known, became a story in time. Turn back time and experience this place and the people that made Furnacetown a story for your time. The blacksmith shop. The historic Double Forge provides an accurate example of 19th century blacksmithing operations. The exhibit showcased works of blacksmiths, tinsmiths, and wheelwrights. A third forge is operated by the Furnacetown Blacksmiths Guild. A variety of presses are shown in the print shop. Exhibited items include a foot pedal operated press, a screw press, proof presses, and a variety of woodblock designs. The wood shop. The woodworker's shop dates from the 1850s and houses some 3,000 tools donated by master carpenter Ernest Glazer, whose works are exhibited at the Smithsonian. Originally used to house strawberry pickers in the 19th century, this building was converted to a broom-making house in the late 1800s.
He made the brooms. That was his big thing. He's an amazing individual. But he was a farmer, but that was the thing. But in the winter, he'd always have a house lined up They'd either build a house, remodel a house, or do something like that. And when he built a house, they put the foundation in. He built the house. He did well, they didn't call it drywall then. They put that lathing on and plastered it. Of course, there weren't no electric.
Horsepower.
Yeah, there weren't no electric. I mean, he didn't do no electric work. But his kids, Uncle Warren and Dad, they both worked, did wiring and whatever. But that, he was self-sufficient. There wasn't any handouts. My mom was a dressmaker. She made dresses, and she had, what was it, the Tubbses and a lot of the prominent people around Southerville, the Townsends and all, at that time.
The caves.
They would, she had molds of the women, those metal things, and they want a dress, and they'd bring her material, and she'd make them a dress. And they just did everything like that. And then he was a school teacher. He taught Sunday school. He was a lay minister.
The farm shed is of dovetailed construction and rough-hewn wood and chinking. Items inside are typical of equipment used in the 19th century Eastern Shore farm. Two historic treadle looms almost fill the weaver's house, which includes a warping board, triangle looms, and more tools of the weaving trade. The larger of the two looms, more than 300 years old, is used to make rugs, table runners, and placement mats. Built in 1874, Old Nazareth Church was relocated to the village in 1980 as a donation by the heirs of the Methodist Conference trustees, who had operated the church about 5 miles west on Old Furnace Road. Local legends are still told of this church. Built in 1869 near Whiteton, Maryland, the Mount Zion one-room schoolhouse was decommissioned in 1931. In 1959, it was moved to Snow Hill, donated by Samuel Shockley to the Worcester County Board of Education. The Worcester County Historical Society moved the building to Furnace Town in 2015.
be a school teacher, you went a summer. My Aunt Gertrude on my mother's side, she was a teacher too. In the 20s, she went to school for one summer and she got her certificate. And then they taught everybody from the first through the sixth grade. And a lot of those people turned out smarter than a lot of them did today.
The Harrison House offers a depiction of daily life during Furnace Town's early operations and also serves as the spinning studio. Donated by the Harris family in 1995 and dating to the 18th century, this is the oldest building on the site.
You look tired. Sit there in your chair. I picked some sweet corn and green beans from the garden. There is fresh coffee on the table. That sweet Mrs. Spence brung us an apple pie today. Can you believe it? I best finish her dress this week.
Originally located in Pocomoke City, this building is one of the few examples of rural Gothic revival architecture remaining on the Eastern Shore. Lewis Walker, the first ironmaster, arrived here in 1828. During his 9 years here, Walker built a town of 20 houses for workers, a company store, a tavern, shops, and a church. He also built a dam, a canal, water wheel, grist mill, sawmill, warehouses, and service buildings. Under his leadership, iron was produced and shipped by water to Baltimore, Philadelphia, and New York. Thomas Spence purchased the Furnace-Town property in 1837. Spence and his family lived in the mansion house. After investing his and his wife's fortunes, the business failed. And Furnace-Town was lost to time. And the last resident turned to stone. The Visitor Center. Browse the museum shop and the Nature Conservancy Discovery Room. Learn bird calls and play some unplugged games. Take a peek at the mural that shows the artistic view of Furnace-Town in the 19th century. Restrooms, drinks, and snacks are in the Visitor Center.
It's the best lemonade there is.
About the smell that I know so well, it seems like home to me. Have you ever caught a yellowfin running up your line with a tight slack you beat back? Oh, it'll blow your mind. That's the kind of living that this here boy likes. Nothing could be sweeter. I'm only spending time. That old muddy bottom smell, I do tell it means so much to me. That old muddy bottom smell that I know so well, it seems like home to me. It seems like home to me.